Joe Rogan said you need better friends. You needed somebody to tell you, say, Damon, get your ass back on stage, man. You too good to be housed up, holed up in a house, writing, put that writing, and go do a set.
I love Joe Rogan. I've actually stolen a joke from Joe Rogan.
You stole his joke?
Yeah, but
you know how people feel about stealing jokes now.
No, not intentionally. So here's what happens with comedians is like this is why I don't watch comics, is because you can't help but have that writer on in your brain go, oh, if he'd have done that, right? So the school I grew up in, if you watch the comedian do something on stage and then after he comes off, you go, I got a tag for you. And you give him that joke that you wrote in your head because that's his.
Right.
So when I was coming up, there was like, we go to this place called Cantor's, the little dive on Fairfax. And after the clubs closed down like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, Jerry Seinfeld would be at a table and Jay Leno and my brother and Robert Townsend. And we were poor. We were eating French fries, sharing some French fries. That's how broke we were. But what would happen is Jay would come over and go, hey, Keenan, I saw you do this joke. And then I was thinking about that. And then Keenan would get up and go and tell Jerry. And Jerry would come over and tell Arsenio, and it was like a community. And if another comedian was on stage doing somebody else's act, they would yell up, that's Jeff Cesario.
Really?
In the middle of your act, yep. I was there the night Joe Rogan was going to beat up Carlos Mencia.
He stole a joke?
Yeah. And he told, and Carlos said, hey, it worked for you. And Joe
I like that. I like that.
You're so stupid. I can't even hit you because you just really believe that.
I don't know if you watched the interview, but you've heard it. Cat sat down with me about a year ago.
Oh, hey, the world heard it.
And people got upset with me, Damon, because they say, well, you should have defended this, you should have defended that, or you shouldn't have. All I did was ask him a question.
Right.
I didn't know that there was so much animosity or beef between comedians. I don't think the world knew it. The comedic world knew it because you live in that, like you said, you live in that world. Right. So you know what guys and gals don't get along with each other. When you heard the interview, tell me what went through your mind.
I laughed. Because Cat is funny. Cat is one of the fewest comedians that in one word you know who it is. America. As soon as he opens his mouth. Him, Wanda Sykes, Chris Rock.
Yep.
That means you have a clear and distinctive voice. Right?
Right.
So when I watch a comedian, I'm watching funny. I'm watching what's going on behind his eyes when he goes, and he reaches for his drink. And then he starts, and he's thinking funny.
Right.
He's really roasting these guys.
Right.
People took it, like personal, like he was just having fun.
Right.
Got that liquor in him, had the fire going behind him, he was like feeling stuff. I personally don't think it's that. I feel like we're a fraternity, and there's enough stuff going on out there for you to be talking about instead of talking about what's going on in here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, I like I said, I think it's funny, but everybody steals jokes.
Right.
It's like, it's not stealing the joke. It's once you know it's not yours and you keep doing it, that's the crime. Because this is, it's funny how it works. The mind just works and is grabbing stuff, especially for, people who don't write jokes.
Right.
They just go up on stage and talk.
Right.
Cat Williams talks, Steve Harvey, that's, you just talk.
Right.
It's almost like being an MC and you're going, hey, where you from? What you do? And the first thing that comes to mind is what you say. But sometimes you're saying the first thing that came to your mind is somebody else's joke.
Do you have to give, if you steal somebody's joke, do you have to give them credit for it?
No, Robin Williams was a notorious thief. I ain't lying. His manager used to walk around with a checkbook. And Robin would come off stage and comedian would say, hey, he just took me and he'd write him a check, $75.
Damn.
Because he knew. Robin was all stream of conscious. And he would steal material. He was known. Comedians would go, I'm not going on because Robin's here.
Right.
You know, but it happens.
Right.
But I always look at like comedy like this. If it's not the last joke I'm ever going to tell, I ain't going to treat it like that.
Oh, okay.
You ain't take my wife or my kid. It's just a joke. That means I got to think of something else.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for people to be all, you know, up in arms about a joke, really, what is the joke? Did the joke end the war in you know, in the Middle East?
Right.
Was it that powerful? Then what you tripping over?
The creator from the Jamie Foxx show say he and Jamie, if I'm not mistaken, haven't received a check because he said the network said they're still in the red as if they're operating at a loss 25 years later. It's hard and I think a lot of people, when they hear that, it's hard for them to believe, especially with the success that the Jamie Foxx show enjoyed.
Well, it was on the network.
Yeah.
Right. So I made a lot of money off of wife and kids. So I can't relate to that.
Right.
It's a different network though. So Jamie and, you know, and Living Color too. You know, I get like residual checks for 39 cents. I'm like, what?
What is that?
Trying to be funny?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
that saved the postage for that.
Right. So, but that's what they send out. Now, what happened with these upstart networks? WB was one of them. Fox was one of them. They got these sweetheart deals from SAG and AFTRA where they didn't have to because they were the upstart, right? But they still, you know, operating as if they just started.
Right.
And WB, my brothers didn't really make no money off the Wayans Brothers show. So, you know, like I said, I made a lot of money from wife and kids.
So that's why you want to be on major network.
Yeah, I still get checks. Not to rub it in, but I still get checks.
My wife and kids. What's your favorite memory? Because, I mean, like I said, you were voted one of the greatest TV dads of all time.
Greatest moments was the bond that I had with Tisha and George and Jennifer and Lil Parker. You know, it was just some of the best times. And, you know, everything I do is family. So Damon Jr. was there and my son Michael and my sister Kim wasn't there. But like a lot of family, you know, on a day-to-day. And there's nothing like walking in and seeing
family.
faces that look like you. You know, and now
Is that conscious? That
Absolutely.
when you do things like that, you're like, I want to make sure that we're well represented.
if I don't, nobody else will. So if you don't make that conscious effort, that you know you hire a producer who happens to be white because that's who the studio wants because they control their money and they want to make sure that their money, you know, okay, that's cool. And then you tell him the mandate, I need you to hire some black folks. He's going to give you one or two people, hair and makeup.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because you know we like to do something before two something.